really diving deep, right into the world of Hussein Saleh Bin Farid.
Sounds intense.
It is. It is. I mean, we've got this proposed podcast script,
Yeah.
and it's all about him. And honestly,
Mm.
it's fascinating. He's this huge figure in Islamic finance, especially in the UAE.
Yeah, his name comes up a lot.
And what we're going to do today is really unpack all of it. Like, what exactly has he achieved, and why does it actually matter, especially for, those of us who are already...
Yeah, already kind of into this whole area of finance.
Right, exactly.
So we're not starting from scratch here.
No, not at all, but we're going to go deep.
Okay, I'm ready.
So to kick things off, can you give us a little more context on this guy? Who is Hussein Saleh Bin Farid? What makes him, really stand out in this whole world of Islamic finance?
Okay, so, well, even before he founded Sino Gulf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Farid had already spent, over 2 decades in Islamic finance. I mean, this is a long career, even before his most well-known venture.
It's serious dedication.
Exactly. He held, these key positions at International Investor and the Abu Dhabi Investment Company, and he gained all this expertise in, everything, from capital arrangement and real estate development to, securitization, IPOs, mergers.
I mean, that's the whole gamut.
It really is. And what's really fascinating is he didn't just, gain experience in these areas. He excelled in them. And specifically in areas that, later on became super crucial for Sino Gulf's success.
Oh, interesting.
Especially their focus on, that high-quality investment-grade real estate, but within, the bounds of Sharia law.
It's interesting that you point out those specific areas because it does sound like he was almost laying the groundwork for Sino Gulf.
Totally, yeah. It's like he was building his skill set strategically.
Even back then.
Yeah, and that kind of foundation, right. That's probably what let him establish Sino Gulf as this, real leading force in the UAE's fund and asset management world, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've become very well known.
They have, for developing and managing that, really high quality real estate.
Yeah.
All while adhering to Sharia compliant investment principles.
Okay, and for someone, who's listening and already kind of familiar with the basics of Islamic finance.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just unpack that a bit more? How does Sino Gulf's approach, really stand out?
Right, because it's not just about avoiding interest, right? Which is what a lot of people...
That's the common understanding.
Yeah, that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
But it's so much deeper.
Right.
It requires this really careful consideration of ethical and social factors.
Yeah.
Alongside the financial returns.
Okay, so could you give us an example of how, those ethical and social factors actually come into play?
Absolutely. So take, for example, the Islamic principle of gharar, right?
Okay.
Which basically prohibits excessive uncertainty or risks in investments.
Okay.
So Sino Gulf, with Farid kind of leading the way, they've been known to prioritize this, insane transparency and due diligence in their projects.
Wow. Okay.
Going way beyond, your typical risk assessments, just to make sure that a project is going to be stable over the long term and that it's actually going to benefit society, not just, generate a ton of money.
So it's not just about what they're investing in,
Right.
but how they actually go about it.
Exactly.
That's super interesting. And it really sounds like Farid's impact goes, way beyond just the success of Sino Gulf.
Yeah, he's a pioneer, truly, in Islamic finance, and he's really played this key role in advancing these Sharia-compliant investment principles across the whole region.
Which is amazing.
And in Islamic finance, is growing globally.
Oh, yeah.
But he's been so instrumental in shaping, its trajectory, specifically within the UAE, right? He's advocating for this model that, really ties financial success to ethical responsibility.
It's a powerful combination.
It is.
The script actually mentions his name being synonymous with trust and excellence in the financial sector.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about his leadership that's really fostered that kind of reputation?
It's interesting, right? Because Sino Gulf, under his leadership, seems to really embody this commitment to growth and innovation. But it's never at the expense of those ethical values, right? And this really resonates, I think, with this growing global trend of ethical investing.
It's definitely something people are thinking about more and more.
For sure. People want to know that their money is not just making money, but it's contributing to a better world.
Exactly. So we've covered a lot.
We have.
We talked about Farid's impressive journey, his success with Sino Gulf, his broader impact on Islamic finance.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had to pick just one key takeaway for our listeners today.
Okay, what would it be? I think Hussein Saleh Bin Farid's story really shows us that ethical leadership isn't just this feel-good concept or, something nice to have.
Yeah.
It can be this incredibly powerful force in the business world.
And it clearly has been for him.
Yeah, he built, basically an empire, combining his financial expertise with this really strong commitment to Islamic principles. And I think that demonstrates that success and social responsibility, they can really go hand in hand.
And that is an amazing point to end on. I mean, it really makes you wonder, as ethical investing keeps growing, what kind of role will leaders like Farid play in shaping the future of, global finance?
Right.
Something to think about, for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, well, thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive. It's been really fascinating, and I hope everyone listening got a lot out of it.
Me too.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.